I went on a little weekend away about 4 years ago or so to Bruges. Not really knowing anything about the town. I heard it was pretty, but I didn't really know anything other than that. So I booked into a hotel, started walking around the town, and was surprised, I guess, and stunned by how beautiful it was. At the same time, after 2 or 3 hours, I was starting to get a little bit bored. So it's like two sides of my brain were arguing with me. One, finding this place so stunningly attractive, and the other half being bored out my head.
You coming up?
Oh, what's up there?
The view.
The view of what? The view down here? I can see that from down here.
He kind of took those two sides of his own perspective and split them into two characters, Brendan's character and my character. Brendan's character, who kind of loves it from the get-go, gives it a good old chance, you know, decides when in Bruges, do what the Brugians do, and, you know, just loves doing the tourist thing, getting the boat ride on the canal and all that kind of good stuff, and the swans and all the Gothic architecture, and myself, who just can't really stand it.
Do you think this is good?
Yes, I do. It's like a bad marriage. These two guys don't get on very well. And so that's how it opens up. A discussion about the merits or demerits of Bruges.
Bruges is a shithole.
Bruges is not a shithole.
Then I thought, why would two guys who didn't want to be there have to be there?
It's a bit fucking over elaborate, isn't it? Go take him to hide out in fucking Bruges.
So that's where the original germ of the story came from.
It is a bit over elaborate.
I'd met Colin maybe a year before this project was starting to happen, just socially. Then I wrote a script, and from the outset, he was really, really interested in. I don't think it's anything he'd quite done before.
You don't really read pieces that are as original as this. You know, people talk about every story kind of having its origin or genesis in one of 3 stories, but this is like nothing I've ever read before. Yeah, it's pound for pound the best thing I've ever read.
I thought you didn't like Bruges.
I don't like Bruges. It's a shithole. But I did already say I had a date.
There's something quite childlike about the Ray character. He's kind of dangerous, but he's got a beautiful spirit as well. And he's just a very sad, mixed-up guy who doesn't adhere to any of the sort of PC notions that we might, not because he's trying to tack anything, just because that's the way he is.
There's never been a classic movie made in Bruges until now.
Of course there hasn't. It's a shithole.
Bruges is my hometown, right?
Well, it's still a shithole.
Ray's dislike or distaste for the city isn't so much about the city itself as about what he's gone through, you know, what he's just come from, the tragedy that he's just been directly involved in and created as a result of his own actions, which of course was blowing the head off a 6 or 7 year old child, which isn't going to bode well for any weekend trip anywhere, I don't think, you know.
I killed a little boy.
You didn't mean to kill a little boy.
I know I didn't mean to.
There's a definite innocence and a definite purity to the characters that are represented in the film. And I mean, these are characters that earn their livings, bringing death to other people's doorsteps.
You know, at the same time as trying to lead a good life, I have to reconcile myself with the fact that, yes, I have killed people.
Brendan was the lead in Martin's short that he won his Oscar for, so they could sort of go back and have a relationship. There's something in Brendan that's wonderfully warm-hearted, and he plays in the film a sort of older, warm-hearted hitman, if that's not a contradiction in terms. And they're great as a sort of odd couple duo.
What am I going to do, Ken?
Learn a new language, maybe?
Sure, I can hardly do English.
The fact is that they're all too human, and the really disturbing thing about bad human behaviour is not that it's inhuman, it's that the fact that it is ultimately very human, totally human. And therefore, to be human in the everyday, to be quite nice, to be opening the door for people or trying to help somebody with their shopping, all of those things can still occur while this massive inhuman instinct or this dark human side is there. So I guess that's what the challenge of playing Ken is. You got to be brave about the fact that nice people can kill.
Sorry, Ray.
And that nice people can do horrible things. It's not always the monsters.
You are going to do it, aren't you?
Of course I'm going to fucking do it. It's what I do.
I think you really do care for each and every character. Rafe's character included, who on paper one would think is so animalistic in his approach to a lot of things and is so violent and aggressive. But there's also an incredible nuance to the character and level of humanity and almost, dare I say, decency. And just funny as well, that you have an affinity for even Rafe's character, Harry.
What Rafe and I talked about before shooting was that we didn't want it to be a type of gangster we've seen 100 times before.
You lot be good for your mummy in Yamamoto, okay? Because Daddy's got to go away for a few days.
He has a very particular code of honour. I think he's the sort of man that you're either with him or against him. If you break your word, you're out. If you don't come through for him, you're out.
If his world order is disturbed, he goes crazy.
He cares very much about his kids as well. He loves his kids and he loves kids in general, like, more than anything.
If I had killed a little kid, accidentally or otherwise, I wouldn't have thought twice. I'd have killed myself on the fucking spot.
That's kind of why everyone gets into the trouble they're into.
I suppose it is about a reckoning. And he's the man who's going to balance the books in his moral universe, which is quite a violent one, really.
That's right, Ray. The little boy.
He really comes across as the bad guy when they should all be in a classic movie. They're three gangsters, they're killing people. And that's the beauty of it, really. It's the fragility and their humanity.
In Clement's character, Chloe, again, another slightly lost soul. She's a drug dealer who rips off tourists in Bruges, pretends to sleep with them. When all those things stack up to make you think, ooh, not sure I'd like her. But the minute you see her on film, you love her, you want to be with her, she's great. And we want her to find, with Ray, something extraordinary. Again, good writing.
How did you get past the security man?
Getting past security men. Sort of my job.
You're a shoplifter.
No, I'm not a shoplifter. It's a good joke, though.
I think she's the only positive aspect of Ray's life at that point.
I'll tell you what I am at dinner tomorrow night.
When I think of the scene in the restaurant, the first date between Chloe and Ray, God, they're both completely honest with each other. But at the same time, they're saying the biggest thing you could actually throw to someone on a first date. So what do you do, Raymond?
I shoot people for money. So what is it you do, Chloe?
I sell cocaine and heroin to Belgian film crews.
Do you?
And that honesty becomes something surreal, something that makes them unconventional, really. And I guess the honesty all through the script between the characters makes them special.
I just knew someone like you would never like someone like me. I just knew.
What do you mean someone like me?
You know, someone nice. She is supplying Jordan's character, Jimmy, with copious amounts of drugs. Enough to put a fucking giant down, never mind a little man. Why didn't you wave hello to me today when I waved hello to you today?
I was on a very strong first tranquilizer today. Wasn't waving hello to anybody. He's a little person actor working in Bruges, which is similar to my own experience, although not exactly the same. I mean, we have some similarities, Jimmy and I, but he's got certain opinions and attitudes and angers that I don't necessarily tap into or feel connected to. So that's part of the joy of playing this character, is exploring someone that's somewhat like myself, so I have something to draw on, but not entirely like me, so that I'm actually going somewhere, exploring something. You don't know how much shit I've had to take off of black midgets, man. His anger, his bizarre theories on race relations and how the world's going to turn out, and his penchant for addiction and being around women adds to that surreal nature of this experience for the two leads.
You two are weird. Would you like some cocaine? I've also got some acid and some ecstasy.
So we have a very brief interaction, but it's scenes that I'm very proud of, and the film just really wouldn't be the same without them, and that's not a compliment to me so much as it's a compliment to Martin's writing.
It depends on the person watching, how far you take the things behind the characters. But Marie, she's completely pregnant, 8 months, and she does represent the promise, hope, and the good thing in this dark, funny movie and story.
There's an interesting scene yesterday where Ken looks in to see Marie, the owner of the hotel, who's pregnant. She's putting up things on a Christmas tree. And there's a feeling that he really likes her. And he's that much away from being able to engage with her properly. You know, that other side of life in terms of the happiness, the joy, the innocence of all that, the hope of it. Hope, really, more than anything else. But it is that much, that near and that far away. It's so near, so far away.
For me, the scene where I'm not in, where Ken reads the little note, is one of my favorite scenes for the character, because it's such a strong thing to do, to write that little note.
I'm sorry about the message last night. The man who left it is a bit of a...
Cock.
Yes, he's a bit of a cock.
Each character is looking for answers and looking for a way to exist within the world, you know? And Rafe's character has a great line where Brendan's trying to tell Rafe's character that I'm depressed.
The boy is suicidal, honey. He's a walking dead man.
And Harry says, you know, I'm depressed, you're depressed, everybody's fucking depressed. Everybody's suicidal, that's what he says.
But we don't all keep going on about it. Has he killed himself yet? No. So he's not fucking suicidal, is he?
He put a loaded gun to his head this morning. I stopped him.
I don't know what the comment the piece is supposed to have in the world or existence, but I just do know that these characters, even involved in the world that they're involved in, kind of the underworld, that there's just an incredible amount of humanity to them all.
This fella, Danny Alaban's brother, was just trying to protect his brother, like you or I would. He came at me with a bottle. What are you going to do? Shot him down. The value of Martin's work is that, however apparently inhuman the behaviour, what we find is that we can't just disconnect and dismiss and despise. We have to actually engage with these people.
I've seen a lot of gangster films, as we all have, you know, guys shooting guns at 100 bullets a minute. And I always wondered what happens to all those stray bullets, you know, what happens when supposedly decent men do things that they have to face and feel guilty about. So I wanted to, as well as it being a black comedy, to address some of those issues. It's not an issue-based film, but there's a depth to it that I like.
I won't get out of your way. You'll have to go through me.
Well, obviously, I'm not going to go through you, am I, with your baby and that? I'm a nice person.
I do really think it speaks in a way about violence today and about, for me especially, about the nonchalance. Is that an English word? The nonchalance in violence, and how you see with these characters, they feel the effects of having done acts of violence.
Harry, swear not to start shooting until she's left the hotel.
Right.
That way we leave this lady and her baby out of the whole entire thing.
And I think that's really, really a good thing.
Not gonna risk having another little kid die, am I?
I don't think anybody in the world really escapes their past, you know? I think you can learn to deal with your past, you can put it to rest, and you can move on from it, but you can't escape it.
I see.
You know, you can never fully leave it behind. And that's very, very apparent in this. You know, the past comes back to haunt everyone. Some pasts more recent than others.
The change that happens in Ken is that suddenly the interaction with Ray allows him to see that it is possible to think in another way. And it allows Ken to get off the hook in a way.
Just go away somewhere. Get out of this business and try to do something good.
Because he had begun to believe that the only way was Carrie's way. And Ray allows him to see a sense of hope.
Boy had to be given a chance. If to do that, I had to say, fuck you, fuck what I owe you, and fuck everything that's gone between us. Then that's what I had to do. But I'm not going to fight you.
And that, in turn, liberates himself to begin to hope again. And so you kind of go into some odd place where there is redemption of some nature. So there is, I mean, it's a tremendously optimistic movie in a lot of ways. It's actually quite romantic in a lot of ways. Beautiful in a really disgusting sort of way. Did you see that state of me when I hit the ground?
I never thought I'd get to make a film. So I only had the pressure of trying to have my first film be as good as it could possibly be. If I'd made one bad film, I'd definitely go away forever, back to the theatre with my tail between my legs. But happily, it's worked out okay, I think.
Bruges is the most well-preserved medieval town in the whole of Belgium, apparently.
I always wanted Bruges to be the fourth major character in the piece. I don't think I'd ever seen it captured on film before. I couldn't understand why, because around every single corner there's another beautiful street, another beautiful church, all dating back to, you know, the 1300s, 1400s. Cobble streets and canals, and I thought it'd be cool to have a backdrop like that to a gangster story.
It's very pretty.
I'm not being funny, we can't stay here.
We've got to stay here until he rings.
For 2 weeks? In fucking Bruges?
It has a feel of some place that's almost stuck in time, you know? It's like nowhere I've ever been before. It's very beautiful, but just very otherworldly. It seems to have a certain spiritual neutrality to it. You know, it doesn't come with the history of the London underworld or Dublin underworld or New York or any of these cities which have been very well referenced in films before and are very well recognisable as well. You know, it's a perfect backdrop for the fish out of water story that we're telling, you know?
In a way, it's a kind of a joke, because it isn't that normally the environment you associate with these sorts of characters. You know, it's got a very particular kind of small-town energy. So I think the restlessness of these characters against that kind of small-town, old, beautiful, preserved European vibe is quite a good counterpoint.
What are we going to do? We can't stand here all night.
Why don't you both put your guns down? Go home.
Don't be stupid. This is the shootout.
I mean, it was born here, the story, in this wonderful, too perfect and too good to be true town. Martin got this story in his head. I can understand it was quite exciting to have a man with guns running around these picturesque, lovely streets. Whatever you think, if you like it or you think it's boring, Bruges, cinematically, it's really great. I mean, there's something to be seen around in every shot. It's like a fairy tale almost.
It's ridiculous. You know, we met the mayor when we arrived here first, and I said, "Thanks for lighting our set, Mr. Mayor," because it's like as if somebody built a movie set and said, "Go shoot a film in it," you know. But they built it in 1428 or something. It was like unbelievable.
It is a nice town, Harry. I'm glad I got to see it.
Bruges is such an interesting place. I would suggest that if you like beer, that you come and visit, but don't stay too long. It's the best beer I've ever had in my life. It's the best beer in the world. And I have a certain amount of respect for that. So that's been both a curse and a blessing all at the same time. We're filming down by the Pointy building tonight. It might actually be good for once. You guys should come along.
This set is the bell room at the top of the bell tower, which is the main sort of architectural motif of Bruges. It's a very old, very high bell tower that was, I think it was started in about 1200 and extended over the years.
Let's go up the bell tower. Be quiet up there this time of evening.
Bruges is a small, pokey space, which is why we've built these sets. Obviously, we can't shoot in the real space. The climax of the film really happens around the bell tower.
Fucking cunt! Like I'm not going to do nothing to you just because you're standing about like Robert fucking Powell. Like who? Like Robert fucking Powell out of Jesus of fucking Nazareth.
And this is a relatively faithful reproduction of what it's like inside, except it's stripped back. The one that's there now is full of safety mesh and different kind of contemporary timber structure and different bell ringing apparatus. And we have just kind of imagined what it might have been like, you know, before they put all that gear in. And we have made it a bit more graphic and stark for this big sort of shootout at the end of the film. So it's the major sort of set piece of the film, really.
Well, I'm not going to have a shootout in the middle of 1,000 fucking Belgians, am I?
I wrote into the script every single church or gallery or street corner or bridge. We actually got to film in every single place apart from one, which is amazing.
That there is called the Groothuis Museum.
They all have funny names, don't they?
Yes, Flemish.
You just wouldn't write specific places in a London script, say, or a Paris script, because your first choices wouldn't be available.
There are a lot of alcoves in the Koningin Astrid Park.
There's an awful lot here to kind of dip into, and I think that's what Martin, in writing the scenes in these locations, has been trying to pick out and hook out. Places like where we're filming today, which is the Basilica of the Holy Blood of Christ.
Up there, the top altar, is a phial said to contain some drops of Jesus Christ's blood. That's how this church got its name.
There was one thing we had to do, which was to get the city on board with the idea of us filming the film here. I think they've been pleased to have us here. The mayor of the city was an extra today in this scene, so that seems to have been good. It's good to be ambassadors for film in a good way.
What are they doing over there? They're filming something.
I mean, it's in many ways quite a simple project, aesthetically, in the sense that Bruges is playing for Bruges, and we just needed to choose those bits of Bruges that we like, the bits that Ken loves and Ray hates.
We shall strike a balance between culture and fun.
Somehow I believe, Ken, that the balance shall tip in the favour of culture.
There's some very famous painters called the Flemish Primitives, the paintings of which are housed here, that they see early in the film.
Well, the rest were rubbish by Spastics, but this one's quite good. What's that all about then?
There's this particular Bosch painting that they look at. It's a bit like Dante's Inferno sort of characters. And they appear as extras in the film set, so it becomes quite surreal at that point. Some of them have also got wounds in the painting, and like the wounds that Ray then has. So it's a little echo of what they've seen before.
In that film, it utilises Bruges as a fairy tale-like place.
In this scene, you're supposed to walk like a little mouse, you know?
Designed around Hieronymus Bosch and his strange, creepy paintings.
The psycho dwarf turns out to just be a lovable little schoolboy, and it's also some kind of Boschian nightmare.
The film within the film is described as a piece of Eurotrash. And which is quite a brave thing when you're doing a film in Bruges, in the same way as they're doing a film in Bruges.
How's the movie going?
It's a jumped up Eurotrash piece of rip-off fucking bullshit.
Like in a bad way. Martin, he knows he's calling danger on himself, kind of slightly ridiculing the film within the film, because obviously, you know, we're treading the same ground.
There is a whole different look to Bruges at night. It's still equally or more beautiful than in the daytime. But I guess at nighttime you really could be in any era of the last, 500, 600, 700 years, especially when, the fog rolls in. There's a whole different look to the streets and to the canals. There's something eerie about it.
It starts out as a fairly benign place, but then as the film progresses, Bruges becomes more gothic, more sinister, a bit more scary, a bit more otherworldly.
In story terms, Bruges is supposed to be a heavy, darker, purgatory-like place.
Do you believe in all that stuff, Ken? The Last Judgment and the afterlife?
But for me, it'll always be the place I made my first film, and it's just going to be full of happy memories, I think.
Thank you for the trip to Bruges. It's been very nice, all the old buildings and that, but we're coming back to London now, where it isn't all just fucking chocolates.
Bruges is a shithole. Bruges is not a shithole.
Shithole.
Fucking Bruges.
They're a bunch of fucking elephants.
Screw you, motherfucker!
Bruges and Bruges? Fucking Bruges. Fuck off, are we? Fucked. Fucking cool.
Fucking hell to pay, I'm fucking telling you.
Fucking. You shut your fucking mouth, please. Bruges. Cock. Bruges. Bruges. Fucking retarded. Fucking. Let the fucking cunt. Really shit. Fucking lollipop, man. Shithole.
Shithole.
Fucking unbelievable. Just hit the cunt. Fucking unbelievable. Fucking arrogant. Fucking cunt. Fucking cow.
Bruges. Fucking swans, not fucking be somebody's fucking thing. Fucking Bruges.
Fucking asshole. Fucker. Fuck. And I hadn't fucked her anyway. Ask her. Fucking. Fuck off. Fucking bullshit. Fucking pussy. Shitloads. Fuck, man. Shit. Fuck. Short ass. Fucking hell. Fuck, man. Fucking Bruges. Fucking Bruges. Fucking Bruges. Fucking Bruges.
Motherfucker.
Shit. Bruges. Fucking
Motherfucker. Fucking. This gets fucking worse. Fucking cunt. Fucking fucking cunt. Fuck you. Fucking stuff. I can't fucking shoot you now, can I? Fucking.
swine ass.
Fucking
Fucking Bruges.